Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Aspiring Adult podcast. My name is Alexandra Hayek, and I'm your host. Today with me is my friend Emily. Emily and I, this is like my third guest from Spain. Um,
Yep.
Emily and I met in Spain. She was one of my roommates. And yeah, I'll just let her introduce herself. So, Emily, take it away.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm from Washington State, not Washington, D.C. I studied abroad with Alex in Madrid, and that's where we met. We were roommates. There were six of us, and we were two of the six.
And it was a great time. Okay, so Emily, my first question for you is you're a teacher.
Mhm.
So, how did you decide to get into education? Why did you decide that? And is that still the reason why you're doing it today?
Yeah, good question. I was the kid who during playtime would like play pretend teacher. I kind of had just always had a heart for teaching. As I've grown up, I feel like I've taken on a lot of different teacher-esque roles, whether it be captain of a sports team, president of a sorority, working at summer camp, working at a daycare, all those kind of things. I think I just have grown up and realized I have a heart for kids. I love working with children. Um, I think that they bring a very different thing to the table, and I love their imagination. I love, I just love working with them. I think that I learn as much from them as they can learn from me. And so I would say that is still my reason. Yeah.
That's amazing. And people don't know, but you're a bilingual. teacher. So like
That is
bilingual
correct.
teacher. So I want to ask you about that.
Me.
Like, why did you decide to do that? Because like I don't think anybody in your family specifically speaks
No,
Spanish.
no.
So like
Very English
why,
speaking.
yeah, so why did you choose to do that?
See, um, I also, as I was, growing up and taking different classes in middle school, took Spanish class, realized I loved it. My family's always kind of traveled to Mexico and various places in high school. I was able to travel to Costa Rica. Obviously, I studied abroad in Spain, so I think I've just really learned to love A, the Spanish language, and B, the people and the cultures that come with it. I love learning about them. I love being able to communicate with those people in their native language. I think it's really special and really cool. Um, so this opportunity for dual language teaching basically combined my love for A, Spanish, and my love for B, teaching. So it was kind of just an opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So I do love it. I teach kindergarten in Spanish all day right now, and it is busy and awesome.
That sounds like a lot of work, but like also pretty fulfilling, I would
It's
imagine.
very fulfilling. It's very fulfilling.
Okay, so my next question for you is, do you have any role models or people that inspire you, either in your professional or personal life? I like to ask this
Mhm.
question because I tend to look at a lot of people and like try to either emulate what they're doing or like, I don't know, like inspire me to do more, if that makes sense.
Totally. I have a lot of different people who inspire me, but I would say a really good one, really cliche, but my mom really inspires me. She has been someone I've always grown up with a mom who has worked really hard in her professional and personal life. She was always making sure that, I made it to sports practices, that I felt supported in those different areas, on top of her not even 9 to 5, more like 8 to 7 job at times. So I have just always felt very supported by my mom emotionally, physically, and just in a lot of different aspects. And I know that she works very hard to make sure that I feel that way. And so as an adult, an aspiring adult, I a lot of the same values that I've seen her, model in her life, I also find myself trying to model them in my own life as well. Whether it be, working hard for the things that are important to me, but also leaving time for the people that are important to me, um, and things of that nature. Getting after things that I am looking forward to, and yeah, things of that sort.
That's awesome that you can look to your mom. Like, I think it's so important to have somebody that's so close to us, um,
Yeah,
be
I'm
able
very thankful.
be a great example for you that like makes a huge difference. Um,
Exactly.
so we already discussed a little bit, but so like you're teaching your new job, you got it right out of did you get it right out of college?
Okay, so I'm technically teaching right now. I'm still a student. I went to Washington State University. I'm still a student, so this is like my teaching internship, I guess.
Hmm.
Um, so like my school set it up for me, and so I'm working at a school that's dual language. I have a mentor teacher, we call it, who I work underneath. So it's her classroom, and I essentially was welcomed into it to learn about my teaching practice and, get experience and whatnot. So we kind of eventually, or at the beginning, I started just observing her at this semester, and then eventually I would take over more subjects. So one week I would maybe take over math, the next reading, so on, to where I was eventually taking over the whole class for a few weeks. So we're kind of fading out of that right now because graduation is to coming into view. But so there was about 4 or 5 weeks where I was the teacher and she was kind of just there to support me and give me feedback and that sort of thing. Now I'm obviously fizzling her back into her teaching practice because I am nearing my end. Um, but so it was my internship. So I wasn't getting paid, hence why I still live at home with my parents. Um, so that was that. I'll be done in May, and then I plan to sub for this district just to make money because I would love to have some sort of money. And then the goal is come next August to have a real teaching job of my own.
Nice. So I guess my follow-up kind of question to that is, what has most surprised you about like where you're at in life right now, like your 20s? And also, how did you imagine yourself at this age and how is it similar or different?
Yeah. Honestly, the Spanish. I talked to my mom about this is really the thing that surprises me, like the ability that I have now to fluently go about my day speaking in Spanish. That just if you told me that when I was 7, I probably would have been like, "What? Hola." Like, no. Um, but it just is, and I mean, I'm not sitting here saying I'm a beautiful Spanish speaker. I definitely make mistakes and sometimes my kindergartners will correct certain words that I say, so that's really humbling. But it's just not something that comes natural to me. It's a very foreign, obviously, language and um to me and my family because no one speaks it. And so I think that if you asked me that when I was younger, I probably would have just been confused, honestly. And so I think it's something that has helped me out in my professional career. I really like the ability to work with students from different populations and communicate with them and their families. But yeah, that's something that would definitely surprise me for sure.
So, kind of related to that, um, is there anything that you're struggling with at the moment, like personally or professionally? I just like to ask this question because I know that we're all going through struggles and then
Yeah.
yeah.
This was more like 6 months ago. So I had to take an extra semester back at college. So I was technically there for 4.5 years. And I really struggled with thinking that I was behind and like, oh, all of my friends already have jobs and are going to move out and blah, blah, blah. And I've kind of seen that struggle that I foresaw myself having didn't actually end up happening because no one knows what they're doing. We're all living at home still, working our 9 to 5 jobs. Life doesn't need to move that fast. You can move at your own pace. And the semester that I spent back in Pullman, where I went to school, Washington State, was one of my favorite semesters I've ever had. I got to live with some girls who are now some of my best friends that I would have never really had the opportunity to get to know in that way. So I guess I learned that sure I can have this big plan and think that I'm, moving slower than the rest, but the reality is that we all move at our own pace and my pace is just fine. So
Yeah, I love that. I think we talked a little bit about this on with Maggie, where it's like she said that there's no metric for success. And I guess
yeah.
that's um kind of like what you're alluding to, right? Like everybody goes
Yeah,
at their own pace and it's like at the end
not
of
linear.
yeah, like who am I really comparing myself to
Exactly,
and why?
exactly.
Um
Myself.
exactly. And that's the only person you should be comparing yourself to. Um
Agreed.
and I think that although it's something that's hard to do, like it's hard
Yeah,
move
It's
away.
learning curve.
Yeah,
It's a learning curve.
yeah, it's definitely important. Okay, so my next question for you is, as you know, and as everybody knows, I love media and pop culture, so I like to ask people,
Yes, Taylor Swift.
yeah, is there anything, is there a piece of media or pop culture that has impacted you personally?
Oh, that's a good one. Um, I honestly have always just I love concerts. I love live music. I love music, period. I think I feel things very deeply, and I'm the type of person who will listen to a song on a sunny day and just start crying. My mom makes fun of me, but it's just who I am. Alex has probably seen that before. It just I don't know. I love music, and so now that it's kind of becoming concert season, I guess it's not necessarily answering your question, but I'm going to a few concerts this summer that I'm very excited about. I will most likely cry, and my mom will again make fun of me. But I just think that music has a really unique ability to make people feel things and bring people together. And I, in September, example, went to Coldplay with my parents and some friends, and they did the whole thing during Sky Full of Stars where they made everyone put their phones down, and we all had our bracelets up in the air and sang A Sky Full of Stars, and they were like, "You can record this, but the reality is that you're never gonna get to experience this moment with these people ever again, so why don't you just enjoy it while it's here now?" I start sobbing, sing the song, whatever. But yeah, it's not a specific example, but I just love music, and yeah, I just love it.
No, I totally agree. I always tell people that like my happiest place is being at a concert.
Totally,
It's when I'm happy.
totally.
And I'm also a concert crier. Like I cry every time.
Every time. It's so, honestly embarrassing, but it's not. I don't care.
It's like I spent most of the Eras tour, me and my
Yeah,
friend
you would. You would.
crying, like sobbing. Whenever
Would.
she and I's favorite album is Reputation. And so she like did a by album, right? And whenever like she started Reputation, she and I grabbed each other and started like freaking out. I almost like fell down the stairs of like
Happens.
seats. I was like, oh, I need to calm down,
Happens.
recuperate. And I had just finished sobbing with like, I don't remember which song it was, but it was something from, oh, I think it was like My Tears Ricochet from her Folklore album, which is devastating. And I was like,
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, Alex. I appreciate Taylor Swift. I like a lot of her songs. I especially like the ones from my childhood. But I have not grown up to be a Swiftie. I understand the love for music. I just am not a Swiftie.
oh my God, wait, I'm gonna say something that everyone's gonna be shocked. Her last album, The Tortured Poets Department, hated it.
It's not that good.
I did not like it at
I
all.
agree. It's true. Here's the thing. She's a great lyricist. Her lyrics are beautiful. But I feel like at this point she's just putting random music to these lyrics, and it's like, why don't you I don't know, give me some summer songs. Give me some our song.
It's not even that, it's that all of the songs are starting to sound the same. And she put
Yeah.
productivity over quality. And I guess people are like, this album's for her, like this wasn't for the fans and whatever. And I'm like, okay, but first of all, this is her job.
Yeah, this is her job.
I'm allowed to critique her. That doesn't mean I hate her now. But I'm like,
Right?
this is a flop. Two, like, I don't know. Somebody made a great point on the internet and was like, I think she needs to break up with her producer Jack Antonoff because this is like all starting to like,
Mesh, blob.
yeah.
Yeah, it's time for something new. A serious bring back country Taylor Swift, and then I will maybe be a Swiftie.
Yeah. Well, her re-recording, I think it's gonna be Reputation first, and then it's gonna be she's gonna end on Debut for the re-recordings.
Oh, I see. Yeah, 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 yeah. That'd be good.
That makes sense.
Anyways, that's
Anyway,
enough of my Taylor Swift critique.
um, but to go back to concerts in general, I think it's also like I just love seeing a bunch of like humans, like
Being humans,
young
same,
humans, and like singing along and stuff, and like,
same.
well, you all know that you have at least this one thing in common, you
In
know?
common. Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. This is super granola. I went to this it's called Camp. Went to their concert 2 summers ago, and people in the mosh pit were dancing barefoot. And I was like, this is so granola, but also really cute.
That's hilarious. Um, so my next question for you is, what are you looking forward to in your life? I know that's a big
um,
question, but
no, I have a lot of things. I love living at home. I love my parents, but I'm looking forward to moving out. I had 4 years living with my best friends in college and abroad and all sorts of things, and I love living with roommates. I'm excited to move out. Kind of, I think it's a big step to being an adult. To I don't know, go to IKEA and pick out a bed. Sounds great. So I'm excited for that. On top of that, I need a job, so I'm excited to have my own job, my own classroom, set up those things. I think that that's another really big step to being an adult. I also love traveling. I have such a love for travel. So I'm really looking forward to saving money 100%, but also being able to spend my money where I want to spend it. And I will definitely be prioritizing travel. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to a lot of different things. I feel like it's a really cool age to be able to kind of create the life that I want. Um, so yeah, I'm looking forward to a lot of those things.
where would you want to go to next for travel?
South America, Argentina, Peru, I don't know where, Chile. I really want to go to South America. I've been to Europe. I've done the whole Spain, Europe. I love Europe. And I would obviously go back, but I have never done South America, and I am dying to go to South America.
You,
Venezuela.
oh my God, Venezuela. They have great beaches, that's for sure.
Yeah,
You can't beat the beaches there. You
I
can't.
know.
Uh,
So that's the dream. We'll see. It's gonna happen.
It will. It will. Okay, so Emily, my last question for you is, what do you want to rant about? Is there
What
any?
do I want to rant about?
Yes, this is this is the free for all question.
Oh,
Anything that
Alex.
comes to mind, just
Um, Being an adult is really expensive, and I
eh,
hate it. Um, like I go to a bar and I spend $30 on a double, and I hate it. That's also just Seattle. Living in Seattle is very expensive. I'm used to my college town where I spend $6. And Uber now is like $40 to go 6 blocks. I just hate it. Being an adult is very expensive, and I try really hard to save money, but I can't when I want to also have a life and have friends, and life is expensive.
I know.
Granted, I don't have an income right now. So give me 6 months and my answer might be very different. But life's just expensive, Alex, and I want to be 12 and not have to worry about anything again. So,
No, I totally understand that. Like, I'll go. I'm always the ones to like bring up, let's go out, let's do plans, let's whatever, and then I'm
yeah,
at,
because I want to have friends and have a life.
right, and then I'm at the
Yeah,
plans, and I'm
good,
like,
good.
oh, um, the plans are kind of expensive.
Yeah, and I hate it,
I went to this like I
but
went
whatever.
child, and I got. Well, I did. Granted, I did get like salmon, so I probably shouldn't have done that. But it was like $30 for myself. I was like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
in Seattle, that's normal. Normal, totally normal. Ugh,
It's
whatever,
it's awful.
whatever.
And I don't even want to call them clubs, at least from what we have here in Houston. Um,
Right.
the drinks, like you said, is ridiculous. I remember when we were in
They're
Spain,
not good.
and they're bad. Like I would pay, I don't even remember. It was so cheap. A rum and coke was like $6.
See, that's awesome though.
I was like,
You're like,
what?
wasn't it?
Here, and they're like, okay, $20. I'm like,
hmm
what?
Exactly.
For
Not
what?
into it. Not into it.
I feel,
Not into it.
I feel
That's
like
about it. It's
one
my
of the,
only complaint in life right now.
yeah, but I feel like that's one of the reasons that like you end up not going out and not doing stuff as much is
Yeah.
so expensive.
Granted, I found that, you don't have to pay money. I could just go for a walk with my friends, and I do enjoy
That's
that as well. But I don't know. Sometimes I want a fun little night out, and I don't want to have to spend $150 on
what
it.
does the rent look like if you're
In Seattle,
yeah.
honestly,
You're
I'm
like,
not
wow.
entirely sure. It really depends on where you are. and how many roommates you split with. I have friends who pay, I'd say the average is probably 14, 1500
Okay, that's
per
not
person, depending on how many people you split it with. Probably around there. 13 is kind of the lower end to, I'd say most being like 17.
mm,
It's doable.
yeah, that's kind of what
Yeah.
I
It's
imagine.
yeah. If you're in a single, very different story. But I plan on living with some sort of roommates because I would be bored and sad if I lived by myself. So
Yeah, I've thought about that too.
I would love it and to be like an independent queen, but I just can't do it.
It,
Yeah, no, bad. Exactly.
yeah, it just gets boring.
Boring. I need
too.
to talk.
It's
I
so
need to talk. I need to talk to someone.
My parents will leave me here for like a week. They left me here for a week by myself. And
No.
in theory, I was like, yes, like because sometimes like living with your parents is like a lot. So I was like, I need a break. Um,
Right?
so I was
But
like,
no, it's sad, I bet.
then like I get to day 3, 4, and I'm like, so when are y'all coming back? I'm so
Yeah, I come home
bored.
from work and who am I supposed to tell my stories to? So myself, I already know it.
Yeah,
So annoying.
so sad. All right, well, Emily, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and doing this.
Anytime, girl.
So is there anything else that you want to say and add?
That's all I got. I got a little sunburnt yesterday. The sun in Seattle's starting to come out. Life is good. And
Thing.
being an adult is exciting.
It is. It is.
Sometimes lonely, sometimes sad, sometimes challenging, but exciting.
Definitely.
So
Okay, well, everyone, thank you so much for listening. Again, you can please follow me on Aspiring Adult Podcast on Instagram and all Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and this will be on YouTube too. All right, thanks so much for listening, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.
ciao, Bella.